Yeah, that's him. Try this. Yeah, we were talking.
Good evening. Thank you for attending this evening's primary candidate forum. I'm Teresa Dedmore. I'm the Program Development Director for the Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined up here by Government Affairs Committee members Mayor Peter Clark and David Schwen. This evening, I'd like to go through a few procedures with you. The forum will be in this order: U.S. Senator, U.S. Representative, State Senator 22, State Representatives 30 and 40, County Commissioners, City of Sheridan Mayor, and Sheridan Council members. As you're called to the stage, please come up on my left and use these stairs, and then when you exit the stage, use the ones on the right, if you would please. Candidates will have a 2-minute intro followed by questions with up to 45 seconds to answer each, and then a 2-minute closing. We will have chamber staff who will be timing you. They will give you a 30-second sign, and then also a stop sign to let you know where you're at in your time. All questions tonight will be asked through the moderator, let's try that one. And the candidate forum will be recorded, and it's our hope to have this on our website within 24 hours so people can view it. So without further ado, let's bring up Dave Schwen, who is our Vice Chair for Government Affairs, and we'll begin this evening.
Hello everybody, welcome. And I also would like to thank everybody for coming and all of our candidates for being here. If you'd all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to jump right into it. We'll start with U.S. Senator candidates. So if they would please come up. Thank you, Mr. Reisner, and thank you for being here. Thank you. I have statements for John Barrasso and John Holt. I'm going to ask those, and then we will get into visiting with Mr. Reisner. This statement is from Senator John Barrasso. Greetings as we're going to start again. Greetings as you once again gather for the Sheridan County Chamber of Commerce candidate forum. Thank you for all your hard work on behalf of the Sheridan County and Wyoming. With my wife Bobby's passing, it has been a tough year for me and my family. I want to thank you for your prayers and kindness. Bobby loved this state, and so do I, which is why I want to continue fighting for you in Washington, caring for Wyoming's people and getting results. Today, the crisis we face is the invasion of illegal immigrants at our southern border. Millions of illegal immigrants have poured into our country since Joe Biden became president and threw the border wide open. Every state is now a border state. This means drug trafficking, human trafficking, and crime. It means a drain on public resources and harder economic headwinds for everyone. We need to close the border and stop the invasion now. Working with President Trump, we kept America safe before, and we will do it again. In the Senate, I've led the fight against Joe Biden's America Last energy policies. America can be energy dependent and put Wyoming energy first. That means thousands of good paying jobs and money to support Wyoming schools and students. My Senate office has helped hundreds of people solve their problems with the federal government, like Social Security, Medicare, veterans, and misguided regulations. But still, today, Wyoming families face daily struggles. Every time we go to the grocery store or the gas station, we see what Joe Biden's reckless spending and left-wing policies have done to our cost of living. It now costs Wyoming families $1,086 per month more just to keep up. With Biden's out-of-control spending, every person in Wyoming is literally paying the price of weak leadership. We can get spending under control, unleash American energy, and do away with punishing regulations. We can lower costs for families. We can bring back the tough Trump policies on the border and make our communities safer. We can get the federal government out of our daily lives. We can get our country back on track. I'm proud to have the endorsement of President Donald Trump. With President Trump and the majority in the House and the Senate, we can return the policies that will help our Wyoming thrive. We have a rich history and a bright future with more and better jobs, an energy economy that powers America, an education system that prepares our next generation to compete and lead. Our men and women in uniform keep us safe. I'm more excited about Wyoming's future than I have ever been. Together we will ensure our state continues to be a special place we love. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Best wishes. Now John Holt's statement. I'm an Eagle Scout and a member of the Christian Legal Society since law school. I obtained the first double-digit firm fixed-price contract in the history of the Hughes Aircraft Company, and I was the head of the team to redesign the fire control system consisting of the laser rangefinder, ballistic computer, and thermal imaging system of the Army's main battle tank, the M60A3. I was in the electro-optical and space division of the Hughes Aircraft Company. When I was at Hughes, they would tease me about my horse on my Wyoming license plates. My grandmother met my grandfather in Gillette in 1919, and her brothers had the livery stable. My grandfather wouldn't let my dad become a Navy pilot because his cousin Ed Holtz was killed in a crash with Doyen Wardell, the head of the Wyoming Aeronautical Commission at the Casper Airport in 1929. My dad had to enlist in the Marines in World War II. I was one of the youngest judges in Wyoming history and helped establish the circuit court system today. I was president of my college fraternity and president of the Alumni Association of the Delta Gamma chapter of the Kappa Sigma fraternity at the University of Wyoming from 1988 to 1992. I was instrumental in placing the carrying of concealed weapon without a permit for Wyoming residents on the Wyoming Republican platform in 2010. I'm a life member of NRA. I still drive the car I had as a judge in 1992. It has over 600,000 miles on the original engine and transmission. We must learn to do more with less. I was class president at Clark Air Base in the Philippines, where the Japanese first developed kamikaze tactics as a mass weapon of war. I was on the Baton Death March, 20th anniversary march with 3 of the original survivors and received the historic Trail Award. My grandmother and grandfather moved to Omaha after living in Gillette. I was born in Omaha and my father was in the Air Force. We lived all over the world. I began kindergarten on a base in Anchorage when Alaska was still a territory. My father was an OSI agent, and we spent many years in Del Rio, Texas, where our family friend, Major Rudolph Anderson, was first casualty of the Cold War. He was shot down over Cuba and in U-2 when we were at Clark in the Philippines. I graduated high school in Omaha and began college at the University of Maryland. In Munich, my father received orders to be Deputy Inspector General of the Secretary for the United States Air Force in Wiesbaden. I graduated from the University of Wyoming and went to law school at St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas. I was a judge for many years in Douglas, and I am currently in private practice in Laramie. Government is best that governs least. I will strengthen America's defense and reduce the deficit. I would make Social Security non-taxable once again. I would export our resources to Europe and Israel through the Straits of Gibraltar to broaden our opportunities. Wyoming is an energy treasure trove in an energy short world. Our natural resources should help our friends, not our enemies. I would employ a gyroscopic analysis to do the right thing at the right time. We must solve the deficit and strengthen defense. Do we wish to duplicate the hyperinflation of the Weimar Republic, where banknotes were used as wallpaper because the currency became worthless? We must elect someone with the courage to risk their career to do the right thing now. I have international experience and qualifications unmatched by others. I have negotiated and designed weapons for Americans' defense. I was the head of the team to redesign the laser rangefinder, ballistic computer, and thermal imaging system of the Army's main battle tank, the M60A3. I would cut social programs. We must follow the Constitution. I would introduce novel concepts coupled with courage to do what it takes to solve problems of America today. I'm willing to risk my career to do the right thing. More and more will result in less and less. We must have the courage to stop hyperinflation. I will follow the Constitution. I will strengthen America's defense and reduce the deficit, uphold the Constitution of the United States. I'm not afraid to risk my career to do the right thing. Okay. Now, we move to Reed Reisner, and you have a 2-minute opening.
Amazing, thank you. My name is Reed Reisner. Thank you to the Sheridan County Chamber of Commerce and to all of you for coming out to hear me out tonight. I'm the only candidate who showed up, but I'm proud to be here. I've been to Sheridan several times. This is my 136th stop around the state of Wyoming since last August when I announced, and we're averaging almost 2,000, so 1,800 and some odd miles a week right now, traveling around Wyoming. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished in the last year, and I'm so proud and looking forward to representing you as your next United States Senator and do some really amazing things. So I'm a 4th-generation Wyomingite, born and raised in Casper, Wyoming. I graduated Natrona County High School, and then I graduated the University of Wyoming a little bit later in life. Right now I own Omnivest Financial. I'm a financial advisor. And truly the 4 things that we're looking at that are affecting Wyoming the most are reducing inflation and balancing the budget. That is a huge piece to what's happening economically. Inflation is killing us. Securing the border is paramount. We have to secure the border. We have to stop the fentanyl and drugs. I just spoke with a sheriff in Commerce County about the drug problem in that county, but it's in every county across Wyoming that I talk to. We need to end FISA and the 4th Amendment overreach and secure our 4th Amendment again. And finally, we need to energize America, and Wyoming is truly the tip of the spear when we talk about energizing America and getting back to drilling for oil and opening up our coal mines. We cannot lose our coal mines, or we will, very distracted, or we will have some ghost towns around Wyoming. We need to truly look at economic development opportunities and mine, baby mine, I like to say.
Thank you. First question. Do you feel Wyoming's economy needs any diversification? If so, what would you work towards?
Absolutely. So economic development, when we look at Campbell County, when we look at Sheridan County, when we look at Natrona County, right now we rely on oil, gas, and energy, which truly we need to unleash. We have our energy sector, our oil and gas, and our energy sector, our tourism sector, and our agricultural sector. But when we look at other industries, we can bring into Wyoming, and we have gaming coming up, which is a very important industry right now in Wyoming. There's so many things, but ultimately we need to focus on our bread and butter, which is coal, oil, and gas. And Ramco Resources right here in Sheridan, I've got to talk with Randall Atkins, and there's some really amazing things right here in Sheridan County happening with our precious minerals around the state, but we also have uranium, which is very important. I'll finish this on in a second.
The next question kind of ties into that. What do you think the future of fossil fuel energy is, both in the state and the nation?
Yeah. Carbon is a way of life, and we're not going to lose carbon. We have got to continue to have carbon, and I'm all for supplementing that with a nuclear option, which we're doing already. The only thing I'm against with the nuclear option is Bill Gates, and I'm against foreign ownership of energy, of our energy resources and our agricultural resources. So when we look at what's happening with Terra Nuclear, India owns a minority stake in that company, and I'm completely against any energy or agricultural resources being owned by foreign entities or foreign nationals. Wyoming and Americans should own our energy resources, including uranium right here in Wyoming, and that's so important to me.
Thank you. What do you think the requirements that either the state or federal government attach to funding should be, and do you feel that they're necessary or could be avoided?
Funding for what?
Any type of funding for that the state might get from the federal government or a county might get from the state?
Well,
Federal government funding.
Sure, so it depends on what it's for. I mean, what kind of requirements for federal money coming into the state, it should be used for what it is allocated for. We need single subject appropriations. This is the only way to reduce the deficit and balance the budget, is to actually get our arms around the situation now. Otherwise, our kids and our grandkids are going to have a huge weight on their shoulders in just 10 or 15 years. We're talking about $30 trillion today to $50 or $60 trillion in the next 6 to 10 years, the projection we're on. And what COVID has done to Wyoming is astonishing. Our small businesses are being crushed. We have to support our small businesses, and we have to build and have economic development at the county level supported by the federal government, absolutely. But the way that COVID and the CARES Act was handled was absolutely wrong, and it has truly destroyed Wyoming's economy, and we still haven't recovered from that. Just look at Johnson County and Buffalo right now. I see that. Restaurants and small businesses are going out of business every day in this county. It's happening all across the state, though, and I get to talk to small business owners everywhere. We have to support our local businesses, not our big box businesses right here in Wyoming, and make sure that we have that economic development available to us. That's so important. Thank you.
How would you work to bridge partisan divides and promote bipartisanship?
Yeah, listen, I'm a business owner, and this is what I do every day, is I get to negotiate with other businesses and other people, and we can't compromise our way anymore. We've compromised to where we are today, so we need to hold the line at some point, but we can certainly negotiate and do what's best for the American people. And it's not a Democrat or Republican problem, this is an American problem at this point, and we're in a crisis mode. I truly do believe that. So it's not about compromise. It's about getting together and doing the right thing for America and doing the right thing for the American people. This is an American first issue, and we need to put America and Americans above all others right now and truly take care of ourselves right now.
Thank you. You have 2 minutes for your closing.
Sure. This is just so important. This election is truly the greatest election of our lifetime. This will set the course for generations to come. And when you look at the fiscal irresponsibility that we've lived through the last 20 years, we're in some serious trouble here. We've gone from $3 trillion to $35 trillion today in my opponent's career. And at this projection, we'll truly be at $50 or $60 trillion with one more term. And that's astonishing at a $2.2 trillion deficit, because that will put us at a massive deficit. The only way through this fiscally is to balance the budget and work on, and that all starts with energy and carbon right here in Wyoming. We're truly the tip of the spear for the entire country. We have so many precious minerals here: uranium, coal, cleanest coal in the world. We've got gas and we've got oil. But the irresponsible regulations that have been coming out of Washington for the past 20 years have truly stifled economic growth for Wyoming. And that is what's strangling us, and that is what's strangling our small businesses all around the state that rely on those energy industries, which is everything. So it's so important that we look at the whole picture and we take a step back and choose someone who's an actual fighter that will go to Washington and put Americans and America first. That's all this is about. We have to do the right thing economically for Wyoming, economically for the nation, but also at the energy level. We have to end the abusive FISA regulations, and we truly, truly, truly have got to balance the budget. I thank all of you so much for coming out to hear me. I love all of you. I love Sheridan County, and I'll be back several more times. Follow me on Facebook or look at my website, and I'm certain most of you are getting my text messages, so I do appreciate that, and I'll keep you up to date on my travels. But it's a massive journey, and we're down to the final 50 days. I thank all of you for your vote, and I thank all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring up our state representative. Sorry, yes, I got that wrong. U.S. representative. Thank you, Mr. Allen. I have a statement from Harriet Hagman I'm going to read, and then we'll jump into your questions. From Harriet Hagman. I'm sorry I cannot be with you and share tonight, but Congress is in session requiring me to be in Washington, D.C. for votes. When I ran for this seat, I promised to be your representative, to show up and be accessible. In 2023, I held public town hall in every county, and so far in 2024, I have held 16 town halls in as many counties and continue to travel the state when I am not in D.C. While this has been a historic Congress, I am proud of the work our Republican majority has accomplished. I have introduced 28 pieces of legislation, co-sponsored 265 bills, and had 26 amendments to bills adopted. The legislation I have supported would delist the greater Yellowstone grizzly, promote free and fair elections, establish mandatory country of origin labeling for beef and bison, allow for tribal land to be leased for up to 99 years, and fight back against the Biden administration's increasing land grabs right here in Wyoming. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to represent Wyoming and ask for your vote on August 20th. Thank you for being here tonight. Mr. Helling, I'll open it up to you for your 2-minute intro.
Oh, thank you. My name is Steve Helling. I am a Christian. I'm a strong supporter of pro-life, and I'm a huge fan of President Donald Trump, as you can see from my MAGA hat that I proudly wear. In fact, a lot of my inspiration comes from President Trump. He's been through more persecution than any person I've ever seen, and he comes out standing. He goes to South Bronx and speaks. He's amazing. On January 6th, he gave a speech in which he said, we need to fight for our country. We need to fight like hell, and if we don't fight, we're not going to have a country. I have used that as my theme. I don't, when I listen to his rallies now, I don't hear him saying fight like hell. And he's probably concerned that if he does, he may be accused of inciting violent overthrow of this country. But I can say fight like hell and fight like Helen because that's my name. And so I say it. We all know that he also said that we will march over to the Capitol shortly and we will peacefully and patriotically let our voices be heard. And I was going to ask, I know that 13 days ago, a statement was released, a recorded statement, a video of Nancy Pelosi accepting responsibility for what happened on January 6th. This is something that I did not see reported in mainstream media. I saw it on Bill O'Reilly's show on June 13th, and if you Google Bill O'Reilly, 2 L's, and you Google June 13th, 2024, at about the 9:30 mark of his show that night, you can see Nancy Pelosi accepting responsibility for what happened on January 6th. In addition, I was disappointed in Bill O'Reilly because he goes on to say that he thought President Trump should also apologize, even though this was a game changer. The fact that Nancy Pelosi accepted responsibility and admitted responsibility. But President Trump, at least 2 times that day, said that, sent out messages to remain peaceful to those protesters. Okay, I see the stop sign is up. I will stop.
Thank you. We'll get going with the questions. So I'll ask, you got 4 questions, you get a minute, 45 seconds for each one.
Yes.
What do you believe are the top 2 issues impacting Sheridan County that should be addressed by the legislature, and how will you address these issues?
Okay. One of the things that candidates are asked when they come to these forums is what can you do for our county? I think it's very important for a federal legislator to have open lines of communication. I certainly would vow to have very transparent, prompt responses to any concerns that were raised. Sheridan County is a beautiful place. I didn't make it here 2 years ago, and so I wanted to make sure that I made it here this time. It certainly was a top priority for me. And driving up from Casper, where I'm from, I saw the beauty, 30 miles south of Buffalo to Sheridan, the green, the beauty. Certainly Sheridan, Wyoming is a gem, but I don't have a direct answer to that question.
What do you feel Wyoming's economy needs for diversification?
Okay, one thing I don't think it needs is nuclear power, and that's one of the issues that I feel very strongly about. I certainly disagree with Mr. Reisner, who was the speaker before, in that I am opposed to any new nuclear construction until such time as we have a
permanent waste site for the nuclear waste. There's been no one addressing what are we going to do with the nuclear waste. It's extremely radioactive. We look at other countries such as Germany, which shut down its last nuclear reactor in 2023 after the people were tired of being lied to and exposed to radiation. The government there had a 20-year period where they knew they had radiation leaks and they didn't report it to the public. We've had similar examples here in the United States. The Braidwood plant up in Minnesota was leaking in the 1990s and not reported until 2005. And they admitted to leaking 6 million gallons of radioactive water.
Thank you. What do you see as the most pressing issues facing our country, and how would you address them if elected?
Well, Joe Biden, I agree with the immigration problem. You have open borders, you have terrorists coming into this country, criminals, and then you have some good people too, but there's no vetting, there's no way to distinguish who is who. And Joe Biden has depleted our strategic petroleum reserves from 638 million barrels in January of 2017 when he took office to 367 million barrels in May of 2024. He wants us to have nuclear. I don't think we should trust Joe Biden for anything. He wants a rapid expansion of nuclear. He wants it to happen quickly. TerraPower in Kemmerer has obliged and has moved to expedite the review process for the plant in Kemmerer with no consideration of what's going to be done with the nuclear waste other than it's going to be stored in Wyoming.
Thank you. What do you think the future of fossil fuel energy is in both the state and the nation?
Well, I am a big fan of fossil fuels. I'm 70 years old. Throughout my lifetime, they've gotten cleaner and cleaner. The efficiency of the gas-powered motor vehicle, the mileage per gallon has consistently gone up. I do support also mixing in some renewable energies, hydroelectric, even some wind and solar, but those are things we can't rely on. We have relied on fossil fuels. We have clean air and clean water in Wyoming, and we don't want to put that all at risk to potentially become a nuclear wasteland for nuclear waste. Germany, as I was talking about earlier, their minister said, we got 3 generations of German citizens that got some of the benefit of nuclear power, and now we're going to have 30,000 generations of Germans that are going to have to deal with the nuclear waste. It was very unfair to do that to our citizens and to sell out for dollars.
Thank you. You've got 2 minutes to close.
Okay. I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm a huge supporter of President Trump, and I think we need to use all efforts to get him back in office. I think he's pretty safe here in Wyoming, but if we know people in other states, we really need to bring them on board. President Trump has done what he has promised. He did it last time, he'll do it again. Listening to some of his rallies, he'll close his rallies by saying, we're going to make America great again, but he also says we're going to make America free again, we're going to make America wealthy again, we're going to make America safe again, we're going to make America all of these good things. And as a citizen of this country, I am optimistic about what the next 4 years would hold if President Trump were elected, without any concerns about having to be reelected, because he would be term limited, obviously. But in the meantime, I will try to fight to my last breath to oppose nuclear power until such time as there is a storage site, a permanent storage site for nuclear waste. There are 12 states in this nation that have moratoriums against any new nuclear construction until such time as there is first a permanent repository for the nuclear waste that is created. And we know there's going to be nuclear waste. There's a dispute over whether this plant in Kemmerer will be safe. I've got an article, former GOE nuclear security official says Wyoming reactor not safe. Certainly the nuclear proponents are saying it is safe. They say there's lots of money. But again, I don't want to sell out all of our future generations for money when we have everything we could need here in Wyoming. Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, I believe, once said that those who have the most to lose will be the ones to do the least. That history is going to record that, surprisingly. And I certainly hope that's not true. I hope we stand up and say no thank you to President Joe Biden, no thank you to Bill Gates with regard to their nuclear plans for which Wyoming has become ground zero. And again, I thank you all for attending. Thank you for this opportunity to be heard. And God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard.